Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Story number 1. They throw rocks really well. Written by Mercury the Dealer. Every species is fascinated by something. Some really like studying things. The Abasks, for example, like computers so much that some of their basic mechanical calculators literally predate their first cities. Others are particularly skilled at governing. The Empiration, for one, have essentially cut bureaucracy of the entire galactic community in half since they were officially introduced. Then there are a few with more, exotic talents, like the multi-berry, who make great miners since they literally eat rocks. All species are different, both biologically and in their fascination. But there is a constant that serves as a basis of the galactic community, one thing that has stayed true since the very inception as a small group of traders. All fascinations are useful. Until the Empiration introduced us to a new species, humans. Many people were anxious to find out what would be their fascination. Maybe they would be incredible engineers or skilled soldiers. A few even proposed they could replace some other members of the community in certain fields. The entire Empiration presented described how humans had developed themselves, their history, technology, culture. In the end, they described what they believed to be humanity's great talent, its fascination. They throw rocks. That was it. There was no catch. It was an average species that could throw stuff very well. To be fair, they do throw rocks really well. Needless to say, they didn't get a seat on the council. In fact, as soon as the information was leaked to the public, the term human became a synonym for uselessness. The only ones that kept contact were the Empiration, and everyone assumed that it was out of pity. The Empiration started getting rich. Way too rich. Running a significant amount of all the galactic bureaucracy always made them quite significant, but now they were also dominating in mining and manufacturing. Many people were getting nervous over the imbalance of power, and a few whispered about them leaving the council altogether. The meeting was called, and soon everyone wanted the pencil pushers to tell them exactly what in the void was going on. It was the humans. No, they were not taking advantage of a desperate species in need of work or making them pay fees under the threat of conquest. They were just trading. How were the humans so good at manufacturing and mining? They threw rocks. More specifically, they threw very fast rocks at asteroids to break them apart and get to the juicy bits in the middle. And then they used slightly slower rocks to place cracks in other asteroids, which were then hollowed out for zero-G industry. Oh, and the damn bureaucrats had just signed a deal that made them the only ones with access to human trade. In less than a year, the council just so happened to pass a few acts that made a lot of the bureaucracy of the Union much more automated, and in only 5 years, it was decided that, sadly, the Empiration just weren't good fit with the rest of the community anymore. Almost immediately, the Empiration signed a deal of mutual defense with the humans, which everyone assumed was the administrators guaranteeing the human independence in return for cheap resources. Soon, the word human was synonymous with weakling that can't defend themselves, a meaning that much of the council secretly pushed to the public. A president was established. The Human Empiration Alliance would stay on their side of the galaxy, and the rest would stay on theirs. What could go wrong? Turns out a lot could go wrong. The community found a new species near the border of the Alliance, and in the desperation to encircle their main rivals as soon as possible, the Council decided that the assimilation process would be sped up a bit. And by a bit, they meant as much as possible. Turns out that what they thought were mostly primitives were actually a very advanced people. They just preferred to stay on their corner and didn't expand despite having the tech to do so. So, Obviously, the most sensible solution was to get them to change their ways by force. The council ordered 1 million ships in a mission to pacify the locals and convince them to join. All running on ghost crews just to send a message. They were at war. The council ordered a full military fleet to stop the savages. Then 2, then 5. By the time the council realized how much they screwed up, the angry natives were sending millions upon millions of ships directly towards their territory. The council begged the member nations to increase the amount of military support that they gave, but even that wasn't enough. All they could do was wait for the enemy to cross a small part of Allied territory, which would then lead directly to the heart of the community. They waited. Then they waited some more. They waited for a full week, and nothing, as if the entire fleet had disappeared. Then a message came through from the Alliance. It was footage taken from a border scanner. It showed the native fleet crossing through the system and being halted by a border drone, asking it to go away. A ship fired at the drone, immediately destroying it. Then half of the meteors in the system all lit up with the light of railguns activating. The entire council watched in awe as millions of railguns fired at the fleets. Some of the projectiles were as big as small islands and crowed before exploding in fusion fire. Some clearly had basic FTL engines strapped to them. A few even had small black holes. Most were just big rocks, though. The fleet was shattered. Capital ships were left as mere husks of metal peppered with holes from the great bombardment of human rocks. A simple question echoed through the minds of all the ones present. How could they destroy so much with just rocks? As if reading the mind of the council, a new message appeared. To be fair, we do throw rocks really well. End of story. Story number 2. Puppy First Contact. Written by Slow AD 2584. So, you guys are gonna meet the humans tomorrow. Official first diplomatic meeting. Oh boy, have I got a warning for you. If you do it right, humans are pretty decent, all in all. But if you do it wrong, honestly, there's never been a historical account of anyone ever successfully coming back from that for as long as they lasted. The human diplomat will arrive at the meeting place with a companion animal. It is called a puppy. This small, harmless creature will be set loose during the meeting and left to roam, play, and do whatever it wants to do. Seriously now, this is very important. Never be mean, disapproving, or, heaven help you, violent to the small creature. The puppy is the test, the secret point of the first contact. The human diplomat is there, of course, to finalize treaties and trade deals and all that, certainly, but while he or she is doing that, they are also hyper-aware of the puppy. They are also linked cybernetically to their entire race through their internet technology. So effectively, the entire race is watching this meeting. They are all watching the puppy play. If you find the puppy adorable, you're good. If the puppy loves you, you're even more golden. Many scientists have tried to replicate human bacon to hide in our diplomat pockets towards this end. Results have been unreliable. If you find a puppy slightly annoying, try your best to endure it. It can bite, but it is honestly not strong enough to cause any significant harm. If the puppy starts to cause a mess, tearing at gown fabrics, for example, having a forgiving attitude about it will actually earn you bonus points with the humans for your evidenced understanding and patience. Popular opinion about your species is important among the human zeitgeist group mind collective in that internet. Even something as trivial as disapproving of the puppy smell will lose you many points in that popular opinion. One delegation shooed the puppy away from their foot, gently shoving it across the floor several feet. That did not go well. The humans were rather cold and impersonal to that species forevermore. Another snapped after a particular annoyance and applied a psychic attack to the puppy. Its high-pitched yelp of pain ended the proceedings immediately. All contact was cut. Humans never dealt with them again and denied any trade or treaty offers. On a good note, our delegation was forewarned and made the effort of cooing and adoring the puppy, giving it constant ear scritches and tummy tickles as talks went on. We are closely allied to this day. It was a clever deception. We were actually disgusted by the slobbering puppy, but played it all rather well. However, on one first contact, as the puppy bounded in through the airlock, the security detail mistook it for a space rat vermin getting on board and shot it immediately. They are the Droog. Yeah, we don't hear much from them anymore. Most of us forget what they even look like. Another time, the diplomats were about to strike the puppy an annoyance, but one of their aides was a telepath and was reading the human's mind at that moment. I placed a trembling, warning hand on the diplomat about to strike. What it saw formulating in the human mind as the hand rose up to strike is unknown. But the telepath was scared from the trauma of what it had seen and was driven utterly insane from then on, muttering only, "The horror! The spoon!" as it rocked back and forth piteously in its quarters. But the worst, yeah, you've heard about this one, the Purge War. Complete galactic eradication of a species is a very rare event and was terrifying to behold. How it started. The diplomats mistook the puppy for a gift treat and promptly ate it in thanks. The recording of sensor data in the area of that event revealed a surprisingly large amount of anti-ship missiles arcing in from all directions before the sensor data was terminated. Like I told you, the puppy is the test. Just put up with it. It's actually kind of cute with its youthful exuberance once you get past its fangs, slobbery mouth, and disgustingly filthy feet. It may nip and it may tear the fabric. It may even pee. If you're lucky, it may just get bored and go to sleep. Just chill with that little creature. Endure the nip and tear until it's done. You really don't want to experience the alternative to that phrase. End of story. The algorithm reckons you should be watching this video next, and I recommend that you should be always watching my video. So, click with energy! And yes, clicking that does help the channel. Thank you very much. I just want to quickly thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Alithia, Barky, Tryagain95, Beautycure, Meridian117, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholt, Jordan Bucksborn, Angry Marine, Albard and Gusta, Savage Patch Papa, and Arcadian.